Greetings, Force users and heroes of all ages. Welcome back to Inside the Tauntaun, a podcast in the multiverse of fandom. I'm Alyssa Simmons, and I'm joined today by my two pals, Dino Nicandros.
Hello.
And Daniel Dawson. And today we're talking The Bad Batch, episode 13, Infested. Written by Amanda Rose Munoz, directed by Saul Ruiz, and by God, we're Star Wars fans.
I don't know who you are or where you came from.
I am Iron.
I thought they smelled bad. On the outside.
Smells like a new car in here.
Inside the Tauntaun, this is our opening song. Alyssa, Daniel, Dino, talking nerd stuff, come along. Inside the Tauntaun podcast, please like and subscribe.
Well...
Well, indeed.
That was episode 13.
Yes.
It came after episode 12, and I believe leads into episode 14.
I think you're right about that. Mm-hmm.
And you know what they say about the 13th episode of every show? It's spooky.
It's much like the, the feelings of a 13-year-old. Feels a little pubescent.
They just
you
want to be
well, you love it unconditionally.
You love it, but it's a little awkward.
And you can't wait for it to be over.
And you can't wait for them to be
Counting
14.
down the seconds when they change ages.
No,
honestly, it was not. We're being brats,
really harsh.
but it wasn't a bad episode.
No,
by no means.
We've just been very spoiled.
There were still some fun elements of it. I thought, I'm going to read a little summary, but I thought when they were on the mining carts, I was like, this is like, they could transport this whole entire section and put it in a ride in Galaxy's
No doubt.
Edge.
Yeah,
They
had their little Indiana Jones moment for sure.
Well, it was Indiana Jones. It also screamed Fellowship of the Ring, and they even played up. They played up the moment when they're in Moria.
Yes.
In Lord of the Rings, where Pippin knocks the sword and the helmet down the cavern.
Yes.
It's like, that was stolen. Yes.
Yeah.
Stolen. But yes, a ride at Disney, for sure.
Yeah, it's super fun, just like you're in a little mining cart. They're like, careful the hive, don't wake the hive. and then the hive comes. Okay, so I'm just
and that
going
was
to
the
read.
episode.
And that's it. That's pretty much it. But I will read this little thing that I wrote. After returning to Sid's parlor, the Bad Batch discovers Roland Durand has taken over.
With two horns.
Two-horn man.
Yes.
We learn that he's the son of Issa Durand. And we have a new voice actor here this week, Tom Taylorson. He has worked a ton. You might recognize his voice from Agent Wraith in Star Wars Resistance.
Sure.
He's also done a lot of video game work, Mortal Kombat, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and God of War, which I know, Daniel, you recently
freaking obsessed with that game, you guys.
So he's taken over, and he has Ruby the Lizard, who you might recognize from a few episodes ago, sitting on his lap. And Sid shows up on the Havoc Marauder and explains who he is and that he's scheduled to have this exchange of spice with the Pike Syndicate.
Spice melange. Also, I'm very excited about Dune coming out very soon.
Yes, for sure.
You probably can tell.
Sid informs the Bad Batch that they're going to help her reclaim her space because she's been very good at keeping a lot of their secrets. So,
that was a little bit of a threat.
A little bit, big
Just
time.
a little bit.
Just like total blackmail.
Yeah. Whoops.
The plan is to use the old mining tunnels below Ord Mantell to get back into her office, steal the spice. They do this with some distraction help led by her very, very loyal patrons, Bolo and Ketch.
Yeah.
They will do anything for her, apparently.
I wonder what she has on all of them.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's legit.
They do a little Mantell mix trail to Lizard Nap Ruby. And
you know what I found out too, by the way?
What? What?
I found out that there's a new flavor of popcorn
Uh-huh.
at Galaxy's Edge, and
Okay.
it's not Mantel Mix. What the
What?
fuck?
They really missed.
Screwed the
They missed the
pooch.
mark. Well, they're like,
Dummies.
that's a deep. That's
I'm never going again.
That's
Yeah,
it.
I'm never going again. That's it.
I'm not paying for that.
I'm not paying for that.
Or you just order it as the Mantel mix.
Yeah, they're like,
Sir, I don't know what you're
the
saying.
And
what?
The people are like, bright suns. We don't.
Oh,
To hell
God.
with your sons.
You give me my Mantel Mix, you son of a bitch.
I paid good money to be in this park.
Yeah. I'm so poor.
Oh.
Can't afford it.
I'm like,
No.
are you gonna finish your sentence?
Yeah.
I'm.
Kyle, Kyle.
I'll let you finish the sentence.
So the Bad Batch is able to get the spice out of Sid's office, but as they're in the tunnels, they're informed that there's a slight infestation problem, and that they all need to be very quiet, or else they're going to wake up the hive. Of course, as we just talked about a second ago,
It's just
Wrecker.
Beyonce down there and her
Yes.
fans.
That would be incredible. They're like, don't wake the hive. You put my love on top, baby.
Oh God, you've woken them! Sweet Jesus, God, no!
It's just key changes for all eternity. Until it's so high that only dogs are barking.
And their
Right.
heads explode. Yes.
It triggers the
but-
chips in the clones' heads.
Oh no. Wrecker drops his flashlight and
Dummy.
and
Lord of the Rings.
Bless his
yes,
heart.
and the Earlings are awakened and are just flying all over the place, and the spice falls below.
The
Oh,
spice
shoot.
melange.
The Pikes are not pleased that this shipment is not there for them, and they
Whoops.
threaten Roland. Meanwhile, Sid thinks that the coast is clear for her to just kind of go back into her office, and it's not. So they're met with the Pikes and a handcuffed Roland, and they're like, "We need the spice, or everyone's gonna die," basically. And they strike a deal that the Bad Batch and Sid are gonna return the spice to them. They know where it is, but the Pikes say Omega will stay with us to assure that you people deliver what you say.
Otherwise, yeah, I'm going to kill this little girl. I'm going to slice her head off, and then I'm going to use it as a puppet.
I don't even care that she's a force-sensitive clone.
No.
So the recovery operation goes pretty well. They are about to get the last two crates of spice up, and
The spice melange.
you know it's nighttime, getting closer and closer, and we learn that these buggies are nocturnal, so gotta hurry.
Oh, gosh.
But they wake up and just in time for Tech to launch this flashlight bomb thing that he's been inventing.
Clever little witch.
And they go scattering, and they get all the spice. As that's happening, we kind of get this scene with Omega and Roland who are connecting, and Ruby is sitting on Omega's lap, and just classic Omega empathy going on there. She's even
Yep.
nice to that dude.
Sees the good in everyone.
She does. The Pikes are, it looks like, about to kill Roland, and
Yeah,
Omega
decapitate
steps
him.
in and is, that was scary.
Woof.
And she protests, backed by Sid, who says, you should just call this a bad deal and move on. You don't want to start a war with the Durans. And
This is not the spice you're looking for.
No. And then the leader of the Pikes. Just cuts off one of Roland's horns. So he owes Omega and Sid a lot for his life, basically. And that, my friends, was episode 13.
Is it?
But Alyssa, what about the Great Clone Uprising?
Oh,
that?
What about the bounty hunters chasing them?
Yeah, we're not interested in that for this episode.
No, we want more
Oh,
popcorn.
okay, all right.
Yeah, so let's talk
I got
about
a question.
Go ahead.
Yes.
So, forgive me for not, maybe thinking way too hard on this, which, that's what you guys are going to tell me. I know it. But the placement of the spice, like where they found it, like after they dropped it, was confusing to me. Like, how did it end up way the hell over, like, outside of the city in that, like, crater when they were basically, like...
Well, the mining facility, like, the little, like, carts that they were in.
Yeah. That takes them, like, all the way out of the city or something?
No, it's under the city.
Well, no, that's what I meant. Yeah. But like, when they went to go retrieve them, they, like, went way the hell out of the city, like... And somehow maybe I just imagined that the carts were going underneath the city as opposed to, like, way the hell away from it.
Yeah, I didn't pull too hard at that thread.
It was probably smart. That was better. Better that you did that.
I don't think I even acknowledged it was in that far a play.
Me
It just
either.
felt like where they dropped it. Like it's like so did like I was thinking
Did the
in my
bugs,
head. Oh, the bugs
the
must have
bugs
carried
take it away.
They're like spice.
You know what I honestly probably was doing during that scene? I was probably reading the casting news about Thrawn and Ezra on my phone during that scene.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that, Daniel, but I suppose you're right. That kind of is confusing. Possibly.
Yeah.
Or maybe it wasn't like super outside the city, but it just felt like it.
Yeah. I think
Maybe
when you're underground, it's really hard to know where you are in the world.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't help you
Interesting
there.
to note, though, the Pike is back. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Yes,
that is.
some world building happening. The Pikes, which, if you don't remember, they were heavily featured in Clone Wars. We've seen them in Solo now.
There's some spooky people.
In League, in kind of a triumvirate of crime groups with Crimson Dawn and Black Sun.
Yeah. It just feels like we're winking and elbow nudging more and more to, like, Crimson Dawn territory. Although the Pikes were involved with the, like, what was the first iteration? It was like pre-Crimson Dawn. It was the something else.
I don't know the name.
You mean Maul's group?
Yeah, Maul's group.
Are you talking about who? The Death Watch?
No. It doesn't matter. It was like whatever he called his group of crime people before.
Oh, what was his crime? What was it?
Dawn.
Oh, now that's gonna bother me because.
You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
I'll look it up.
All right, cool.
But yeah, while you're doing that, some interesting world building there. They're a very sinister bunch.
Yeah.
And
they mean
very
business.
Godfathery. Yeah.
Don't take no for an answer.
Yeah, not to be
They're about to
crossed.
kill a child, apparently.
Yeah.
Or at least maybe take the... I guess we don't really know, but it sounds like they were going to kill her.
But also they surprisingly maintained their word.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Because when the Bad Batch left Omega with them, I was very concerned about their parenting yet again. I was like, why...
You're going to leave them with these...
Why? And of course, it was the only way. But I don't know, that rubbed me the wrong way. There's absolutely no way they would leave her with these people.
They're still learning.
Yeah, it felt...
Parenting is so hard. I
was like, just shoot them.
The only thing I ever learned is if you want to make them go to sleep, you just shake them really hard.
Shake them real hard upside down.
Yeah.
I can't find the name.
Ah, crap. Maybe I just made it up.
Go
I could have sworn there was a different
I'm on
name.
Wikipedia.
Oh, Wikipedia.
Wookie.
Yeah, and also, what else? Oh, it seems that they're making this,
Shadow Collective.
There you
There
go.
it is.
That's the one.
Thank you. Shadow Collective.
Oh,
Thank
there you go.
Oh, here's another one.
One drop or two. Oh.
One drop or two.
So they're also seemingly making this one-horned dude, like it feels like a setup to be like, oh, we're gonna see him again, and we're all gonna go, oh, remember the time? This was the time when he lost his horn. How cool.
Yeah, or there's going to be a moment where he, gets to return the favor for
Right.
Omega.
Like he
Right.
slices off her horn.
You know what my biggest takeaway was? As this episode was ending, it dawned on me that if it wasn't
Crimson
a sure
Dawn.
thing before, this sure feels like there's going to be a season 2 of Bad Batch.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
It would
Because
they've
they
set
are
up
running
too
out of-
many new characters.
They are running out of runway here
Yeah.
It feels...
in terms of...
But my thing is...
At least tying
If
up their
that's-
story.
Right, but if that's the thing that there's a season 2,
Yeah.
why...
The sigh.
Why does it feel so labored at the moment?
What,
Well,
does it,
I don't
did
know.
it
I
need
guess
to be
that's-
16 episodes is the question.
We
That's-
were
that-
we were
that's
talking about this last
exactly-
night.
Yeah, that's exactly what we said last night. I said, I love that they got such a high episode count order,
Yeah.
but I almost wish that it had been, that we had, they would have
10.
had a 10.
10, maybe 13, but yeah, I think that they could have squeezed this
Because
into 10 and made it
and
a
I
really
don't
tight.
necessarily, yeah, I mean, could we call this episode like a side quest or what have you? Like, yes. And we've had several of those. So
Yeah.
my
It
thing
just-
is like, why not just do like 10 super solid all around the Bad Batch and the
But yeah.
If I was like trying to deconstruct it, if I pretending that I was one of the writers of the show, well, first of all, I'd say there's not enough poop jokes, and then second of all, I would say that it felt like there was a lot. They were introduced. Like this whole entire episode was just a means to introduce this new
Roland.
important character.
Mhm.
Yeah, and if they're introducing him basically at the end of the season, because we only have 3 more episodes left, right? I mean, I guess he could be his character arc could be wrapped up in the next 3 episodes. Because the show, when it cooks, it cooks. It really does move along. So I guess they could have him come back in the last couple episodes and then be done. But it does feel like they're.
Yeah, I mean, that's where my frustration is. When the show cooks, it does really cook, and we notice when it is not cooking, so to speak.
yes,
Right.
for sure.
It's
Yeah.
on a simmer right now.
And it's not like, and it's not unentertaining or
No.
not visually stunning to look at, and the music's not cool, and the sound effects aren't cool. Like everything about it is still cool and entertaining. It just, this episode to me just felt like, oh man, the last 2 episodes with surrounding Hera and everything. And that whole political storyline
Yeah.
and the clone uprising, like all of that was like so like, yes, this is it. Like this is the show. And then
It's so interesting. We've
Yeah.
had several shows within this show, it feels like.
for sure.
And yeah, it's,
Yeah, they're
it's- it's- so
setting
it's-
up different avenues to run down.
doesn't it?
Either through, I mean, they kind of reintroduced the Lando themes again in this one with the Pikes. So like,
Sure.
Right.
a Calrissian series is definitely going to pick up on some of the threads Bad Batch has introduced, and
Yeah, I'm just like curious if they're like because I don't want to say it's scattered, but it feels like either they're like trying to tether, all of the different shows and films and stuff within this one show, or they're just trying to.
And you don't, and we're not like people that need things to be like psychotically plot heavy. the
No,
whole
and
entire time.
we forget that this is a cartoon and it is supposed to be like, edible for children.
Yeah. No, I feel that for sure, but it's weird to me as an audience member that I could take off the top of my head, I could easily take like 4 of the episodes that we've had so far and just remove them, and nothing really would change about the story.
You're right.
No,
you
but
wouldn't
see, here's
miss
the
much.
difference between this episode and some of the others that you could call maybe a bit side questy. This one didn't. Being a side quest in and of itself is not a sin, and in fact, it's kind of derogatory because usually you can glean important character traits from the characters. There's some kind of development that happens, but in this one, we learned nothing new about any
Bad
of
Batch.
them.
Yeah.
About the lead characters, really not at all.
Well, yeah, I mean, we were introduced to Roland, but like we did not learn anything we didn't already know about them as characters.
Right. I mean,
And if it can't pass
no,
that
we
litmus
haven't.
test, then it's like why are we doing it?
Mm-hmm.
right. And I so going back to like my thoughts about like, setting up a future thing. I mean, really, I think that my guess is they were working backwards. They had a, some fantastic maybe finale episode, or maybe it's something in season 2 or who knows what, and they're just like, how do we make this seem not random that this character exists in this episode?
Sure.
You know what I mean? So they're like, we need to have something, in the previous
Yeah, and
action.
we a little bit, wondered like who they were stealing Ruby for a couple episodes ago or whatever.
Oh, right.
And then we learned,
Yeah.
it's Roland,
Right.
this guy right here. And yeah, I was like, oh, because I'm fairly new to the Star Wars comics. I'm reading Dr. Aphra right now. Aphra. And I was like, oh, should
She also
I
sells
know?
car insurance, right?
She does. She's a Star Wars duck.
Afra, the Star Wars duck.
Everyone's like, oy, oy, oy.
They're really
They're just
jumping the shark now. Jeez.
And I'm like, should I know who his mom is? Like, should I know who Issa Durand is? Because that sounds like a name that would be absolutely in the Dr. Aphra comics.
Oh, sure.
And I'm like, no, it's not.
No. But yeah, they did like they presented. I mean, he presented his mother's name in such a way that it felt
like she was
it
like
important.
this big like crime boss baddie that we probably
Are supposed to know.
should know about,
Yeah.
Which
Mhm.
I like that. I
Yeah.
like that idea.
Yeah.
For sure, but-
Which that just kind of like again proves, not necessarily proves my point, but adds more fuel to that fire that like they put this here so that when we do meet these people, it won't feel like, who the fuck? You're like, oh, that's who they were talking about. Okay.
Right.
It's just very odd that, and we've said it before, that the show isn't. They go stretches where this isn't about the Bad Batch. I'm like, that's fine, but all right, we've got 3 episodes
they are
left.
the titular characters.
Right.
You've got 3 episodes left,
But it's
and you have to
interesting.
set up a giant civil war or execution, and then you have 2 bounty hunters on their tail. Like, you have big plot lines and maybe they'll have longer run times. I assume they will, but you're running out of real estate now.
You know what?
Well, this is. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Daniel. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was just saying that you start to wonder whether or not their goal with this show was to have the Bad Batch be the stars of the show, like, including Omega, like being like they are the centralized character, or it just is like all of the important events that are happening around these characters, but they're not necessarily like the lead. It's like the lead characters kind of come in and out of the show, but like
It's really hard to do though, because you want the Bad Batch to be the protagonists.
yeah,
you know?
right.
That's what
what's
it
a
looks
little
like is
confusing
happening,
about the
though.
show,
That,
right?
that is what it feels like for sure.
The series so far feels like a setup for future stuff and an explanation or a further coloring in of stuff that's already happened, and that's good.
Yeah,
I mean, like
there you go.
Yeah.
we're learning a big amount of stuff about the Star Wars universe at large from this show. But
we'll reiterate, don't get us wrong, we are still very entertained.
Yes. I just want to get to the business of what is going on with the clones, because it's been a great many episodes now since we've touched on central plot line here.
Right.
Well, yeah, and we just had frickin' Crosshair get the
the
go
go-ahead.
ahead
Yeah.
to like go kill his brothers, basically. So I'm like, okay, here we go, let's fire it up, kids, and we're like, let's have another side quest.
From a writing standpoint, actually, and I didn't think of this until we were just chatting, it kind of, and this is not like a slam at all, it's just
a slam.
It's just what it is. It sort of feels like a Star Wars soap opera in that, not in like that it's overly dramatic or ridiculous, but in that in soaps, because they are, there's no end date essentially for most soap operas. So the way that writers write them, they can write as many, side things or new plot lines. Like, it doesn't really matter because like it's open-ended.
Yeah.
So
they can explain it like 3 seasons down the road. Yeah.
And I was a couple years ago, I was in a musical that the book was written by a soap writer.
Oh, really?
And that was like the main issue with it, is that he was like essentially opening all of these different plot lines but never addressing them ever again.
And never closing them.
So everyone was like,
if you comment on that
wait,
and make
what?
it like a funny thing, that actually could be hilarious. But
sure, but it was not a comedy, so it didn't.
Of course it wasn't. Of course it wasn't.
But
it was Shakespeare.
To me, it sort of feels a little bit like that. Like there's so many different things being opened and discovered that we're like, oh, what actually is the show about, though?
What even was that, you guys?
So,
but yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, but all that to say, and I just want to say it again, all that to say, like, the show is still great. Like, it's still...
we had a little lull.
It's still a fun, exciting, beautiful to look at, beautiful to listen to.
Yeah, I need to remind myself that, like, at least a few of the episodes, like, had me, like, quite literally on the edge of my seat with my mouth open. I was so excited. Yeah. So... just give us a little more of that, please.
and that just goes back to the point of maybe just shorten the season, because obviously you can't have every episode with some giant galaxy-spanning reveal or something that affects the galaxy as a whole every single episode. And nobody's asking. Nobody rational. I mean, nobody rational is asking for that, but it just seems
we are
like they have a little. They left themselves a little too much space to fill. And
for 3 episodes,
they're struggling.
20 some odd minute episodes.
Yeah.
So we have 3 left.
Yeah, there's basically only an hour left of show.
Yeah, and I can genuinely say I have no idea where it's going.
Same.
No.
Like, or at least how they're going to end it.
Not a clue on what they're going to focus on.
No,
the last 3 episodes.
What like the I guess, like, I think my well, it wasn't just my theory. I mean, I think the theory of the overall arc of the season, at least, because it does feel like they're going to do another season, but at least the overall arc of the season would be to maybe close the chapter with their brother Crosshair. And however that ends, I'm not sure. Like, whether or not they're actually going to, like, fix him, or if they're going to, or if he's going to have to, like, sacrifice himself, or he's going to sacrifice himself.
Or Kylo Ren it and have a moment where he comes back to them when he discovers what the Empire's real endgame is, and
right, and that he probably he's probably not included in that that plan.
No, well, and it became increasingly clear with his interactions with Rampart in the last episode that his leash is very short at the moment.
Yeah. And he's like his little bitch. And he's like, I don't want to be your little bitch.
But if they don't resolve the whole clone thing
You're
in
a
a
bitch.
season 1, I think I'm going to be pretty frustrated.
You think?
honestly.
Oh, so you would rather this be a 1-season show?
I think so.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you. I mean, honestly, if they give me enough to I don't know. Yeah, if I get enough of a teaser at the end, I'll be excited. But yeah, I feel like they probably could have squeezed this into 10 episodes and it would have been
Well,
great.
and it's just my opinion, but these characters feel like a 1-season group to me. I don't. They're
Well,
great characters.
yeah.
I've been
Yeah.
enjoying them, but they don't feel like somebody you start a mini franchise with. But so others may feel differently.
Yeah.
But
And
they're not resonating to that degree with me.
And of course, I just, I will remind us all of season 1 of Clone Wars, season 1 of Rebels, season 1. I mean, like, I could probably go on, but like,
season
sure.
1s are hard, but also
yeah, they don't really know what they are yet.
But also, these are not brand new characters. Like we
No,
know
No, this is
that is
this is
also
basically season 2 of the Bad Batch already.
Right.
'Cause they had
and,
their arc
you could
in the
also
final
argue
series.
it's season. You could also argue it's the continuation of Clone Wars too. So it's
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. As that it's season 2.
Yeah.
I mean, we got their first
as far
arc
as their story
in the
is
last
concerned.
season.
their
Yeah.
story, right?
Right.
Yes. Yeah. Totally. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think I'm in your boat, Dino. I think it would be great to have some answers and clarity about the clone situation.
Just wait, like in the last 2 episodes, like it's like a fucking like Shakespearean tragedy and everyone dies and we're just like, oh my god, what the hell? Who knows? Could happen.
It could very well happen.
I mean,
It probably won't happen though.
they're gonna. I mean, the alternative is they get really creative explaining how they've survived all this time, and we didn't know about them.
Right.
So, I would actually
Right.
say if there were Vegas odds, there would be the slight favorite of those 2 scenarios would be most of them eating it. I don't think that's going to happen, but
No.
until they prove they have utility going forward, they might Rogue One them. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I just imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine them because like we still haven't really been fully given the secret of Omega, whatever that secret is, because there is more to be learned about this clone. Assumedly, at least what the point of Omega was, like why they made Omega. Like just imagine to be like revealed what that was, and then just have her be dead. Just
Yeah.
like
That would be so sad.
that would be very sad, and
I
kind of
also-
like also feel like a I think a lot of people would feel cheap, like that
Mhm.
was cheap. We didn't get to like see her like like really live out her true
Correct.
form.
I mean, that is Rogue One, though. That's Jyn Erso.
I suppose
Like,
you're right, because she
imagine-
literally figured out like
Yeah.
who she was like right at the very end, and then
That was
like,
the
I'm a
tragedy
rebel,
of it
and then-
all. Yeah,
which is
I
beautiful.
think I am of all of the characters, and we've said this a couple of times, of all of the characters that we've had on the show, Omega is the most interesting
and rich,
for
yeah.
sure. I think
Which is so funny because I thought that I was gonna be annoyed as hell about this character, but like
yeah,
I love her.
I think that because essentially when she's doing stuff, not when she's just being held captive, but
yeah,
when
right.
she's doing stuff, there's growth and discovery because she's a child, and
Right.
so there's like that just lends itself to that character development and that build.
She's a great foil for her parent or her dads, as it were, her uncles.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she brings
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
the best in all of them. And
The moral compass.
but that's what this show has done really well, and that's again where some of the minor frustration comes in. Is like, we know who these characters are now, so let's push
Right.
it forward.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
Like
yeah,
you
I
have
think some
you
of
have
the best-
earned our attention, but let's get to it now.
Let's get to it. Yeah, like I think that when they kind of press upon the the family aspect of the show and the like kind of the parental like struggles. Like I surprisingly that's kind of like where the heart of the show is for me, and I like it when they go there, but it feels like they kind of have left that alone for a second.
Well, they won't be doing it much longer, so I mean we're here. Like it's time.
This is the end. 3 more episodes. Less
more.
than well, maybe a little bit more than an hour left.
If not now, then season 2. And I swear to God, if they leave us with,
I swear to God,
if
We're gonna have
they leave us the final episode like on the verge of like the clone thing, clone civil war going down, I'm gonna be really.
It's gonna get you huffy. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
gonna get on his huffy
I'm gonna be one of
bike
those. Yeah, I'm gonna be one of those ugly fanboys that none of us like. But
either
No, I get that.
You know, or we're gonna get this like you know, Boba Fett sneak peek.
Yeah, I
And
don't
then
know.
she's gonna end up live in his show. Just you wait. That's not.
but still, that still does not resolve the clone thing.
No, it
Correct.
certainly doesn't. No.
Correct.
Mm-mm.
I the other night had so much laundry to fold, and so I put Solo Star Wars story on.
Oh, fun.
And I haven't watched that in a little while, and I just forgot how just so much fun it is.
It is fun.
It's a great time.
Yeah. Anyways, I forgot to tell you both that, but yeah, I just I put it on and I was like, oh, man, this is a good movie, and they just
truly,
it was a bummer when it was released because
it was a bad release
Yes.
time.
Bad,
They
bad
screwed up the
timing.
timing.
Bad timing.
Yeah. And I mean,
but we
truthfully,
should-
it's
we
one of
should,
my favorite droids. I think in
Oh
all
my
of the
gosh.
Star Wars series.
Yes. But we should
L3.
do a watch of that, and
That'd be fun.
that would be
Well,
It's going to be relevant here.
I was gonna
and
say,
Exactly.
yeah.
that story lends itself to the Disney Plus format, either
Yep.
through Lando,
Ooh,
and
yeah.
if Lando is kind of the de facto Solo 2, or if they then make a Solo series. Either way,
Yep.
it's very, very relevant. And
No,
it's
yeah.
a fun part of the galaxy.
Afra, or Dr. Afra series.
Yep.
Sure.
'Cause all
Yes,
those
sure.
characters, like I'm in the run that I'm reading right now, the current Dr. Afra, like all of those people
and
show
maybe
up,
even
and they're around. So
maybe even in the new oh god, the new Rogue One series.
Andor.
Andor.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Could show up there too. I mean,
A little bit, sure.
Could show up even in the new Obi-Wan show. I mean, Lord knows. They could be everywhere.
Yeah. So anyways, that's
Some other Star Wars news.
Yes.
Did the two of you see? So Comic-Con was this weekend,
Right.
Comic-Con at home,
Comic-Con
as
at
they called
home.
it.
yes.
Dumb.
Still couldn't get tickets.
Still couldn't get tickets. Did you see the officially licensed poster that was
I did see
revealed
that.
at Comic-Con?
Yes.
No.
And
Of
when
one Luke
please explain
Skywalker
to me
with-
what officially licensed means, because I
It
still
means
don't.
Lucasfilm signed off on it.
Right, but not canon.
Well, we don't know that.
We don't know.
Right.
But if they signed
That's
off
why
on
it's
it,
intriguing.
then
We have Luke Skywalker with one of his new Padawans, Grogu, aka Baby Yoda, and
Everyone's favorite Padawan.
this poster depicts Baby Yoda building a lightsaber,
With the Force.
and Luke is dangling a yellow lightsaber crystal.
yeah. Ooh.
Pretty sick.
That's really beautiful. I want it print. I want a copy.
It is
of
a
that.
gorgeous.
Quite, and
Poster.
as we said, it was officially licensed, which means Disney signed off on it.
Yeah, but like I'm wondering if that means that like. But Disney isn't.
They
selling
don't. No, but they don't license fanfic.
Correct.
It. Right.
Like,
So I doubt they're gonna put
Do
something.
they never do that?
I don't think Disney signs out. At least official policy is they don't go off brand, or acknowledge
I guess I'm confused
plot
because
points or depictions.
there's so many people that put out artwork of Star Wars and sell their work. Like and
Yeah, but it's
don't
not
get permission from Disney. So I don't really
Yeah.
understand what the difference is between getting it licensed by Disney and not having it
But how much of
licensed.
that artwork, like, think about, like, how much of that artwork is depicting something that just does not happen in Star Wars? Like putting Luke Skywalker on a T-shirt is one thing,
Sure.
and I don't know how they arrange that or what arrangement they have with Disney, but it's not like they're depicting Luke Skywalker in Darth Vader's uniform in some kind of alternate universe. So,
Right.
Well, God, I mean,
I don't
we
think
get
Disney
Grogu
signs
eating,
off on.
We have T-shirts with Grogu eating chicken nuggies. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm just curious why something like that wouldn't get, or what the difference is and why that makes a big difference. And like, is Disney getting like a piece of the pie or something, or like, and if so, why? And so I don't know. I think people are maybe putting too much weight into it, but I mean, arguably, this could be happening off screen.
Well, that's what I think it is. I mean, we know he goes and trains Grogu, so we don't know what happens. But this isn't showing us anything we didn't assume was going to happen.
I suppose.
So
Yeah.
and having it released at Comic-Con is no
Yeah, they wouldn't
small thing either.
That's the reason that I think that
They made a big deal about it.
Even like you said, if we don't see it on screen, that Lucasfilms like gave the stamp and was like, "Yep, this absolutely is like, makes sense canon-wise."
So is that it? Is it like they approve it because they like, Dave Filoni has given the stamp of like, yeah, this feels like it would be a canon thing.
I mean, we don't know.
Is that
but
the difference?
But I don't think that they would have shown it at Comic-Con and been like, this has our stamp.
Well,
Right.
and as you said,
That's
it's no guarantee.
That's the reason that I think, yeah.
There's no guarantee. There's absolutely no one saying this will happen on screen.
Sure.
That said, I do think it is a tease. We will see Grogu again
Oh, of course.
down
No,
the
they're-
line
they're-
in
it's their
training with Luke
moneymaker.
Skywalker. So I think
Yeah.
it's relevant in that sense.
No doubt, for sure. But yeah, I still
Disney doesn't let something like that get put out at Comic-Con and then
Yeah, that's
everybody
where
talk about it
the
and then go,
difference
oh, we
is.
didn't sign off on that.
Yeah, that's where
But
the
yeah,
difference is, Daniel, with like an image like that versus Grogu eating chicken nuggets.
right. But
Like-
even going on because I'm sure there's an endless amount of Star Wars beautiful art that is canon
Sure.
or could be considered canon because it's just like artists that are just fully like in the world of Star Wars and they just love it so much they want to like create art that
Mhm.
looks exactly like it, whatever. But a lot of those things don't get like the stamp of approval from Disney or Lucasfilm, so it's just like what exactly is the difference and why is that special? I guess that's what I'm confused about still.
I don't know the ins and
My
outs
guess-
of their marketing. I
either,
just know
but-
that the presentation and where it is released, I think, matters. And
Oh, sure. No,
Yeah.
I
mean,
agree
it's-
with you, but it confuses me, and maybe that's the point. Maybe they're trying
Yes,
to
sure.
confuse us.
well, and
Yeah,
Disney has
I,
been inconsistent in what they copyright strike and what they don't. So,
Right. Sure.
but here it's depicting something that could very well and probably will happen off screen. I don't think we'd necessarily watch Baby Grogu building a lightsaber.
Nah.
So I just
don't
don't
think
see. I don't see him engaging in combat like that. But
No.
but I do think it is a hell of a tease and like just you wait.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to see him again.
This is not gonna go the way you think.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Oh boy.
Oh dear. I hope
Golly.
he doesn't get sliced by a young Ben Solo.
Oh no.
In the other news, and we talked about it very briefly at the beginning of the episode, it's not official, but it's certainly looking that way, that we have a casting announcement for Ezra Bridger and Grand Admiral Thrawn in the Ahsoka series. And
That's very
it's reported
sexy.
that Mina Massoud, who played Aladdin, will be playing Ezra. That's been rumored for a while. And Lars Mikkelsen, who voiced Grand Admiral Thrawn on Rebels, will be playing the Grand Admiral in live action.
Now these
Exciting.
these rumors have been around for ages now. So
Yes.
what has made this resurface? Do we know?
Somebody talked to somebody about something.
That's a good explanation of a rumor.
Cool.
Good
Yeah.
job.
Neato. I'm just like,
I don't think there's any like. I think there's still rumors, but I think the
Yeah.
fact that they're resurfacing again probably
They're out.
means something.
could be. I mean, if
I'm
anything,
particularly
we're like the fans are strong arming Disney so hardcore, and I love it because there's really no other better choice. I
Hey,
don't
I mean,
see
it
them-
worked
No,
for
I-
Rosario Dawson.
Yeah, exactly right. So
I am particularly tickled about Lars Mikkelsen because
Oh,
he has the
God.
face for Thrawn. He's obviously the voice of Thrawn. And if you've watched House of Cards,
Jesus.
he plays basically Putin's...
Mm.
He plays Putin,
more or less, yeah.
Vladimir
Yeah, yeah,
Putin, in House of Cards, for better or worse.
And he was brilliant.
And that character is basically Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's,
He would not have to do much.
so stick some blue skin on him and he's going to be
Yeah.
excellent.
Put him in a makeup chair for 6 hours a day, and then there
So
he
looking
is.
forward to... Yeah,
I'm
we're
surprised
looking
that no
forward to the
like
Ahsoka.
Star Wars fan has like taken some footage from House of Cards and just like edited the shit out of it to make it look like.
I mean,
They
I'll
might
pull
have.
one up.
They
people
might
have
have.
people have made pictures. I mean,
Oh, yeah, I
people
have
already
seen the pictures.
superimposed them.
Yeah, which is pretty amazing. But yeah, he's so freaking perfect. Yeah, and also Aladdin boy, what's his name?
That is
Amina
his name.
Masood.
Aladdin
Yeah.
boy.
Aladdin boy,
Aladdin boy.
Dr. Aladdin boy. He's perfect. Yeah,
He looks just like the
Looks just
animated
like him.
Ezra.
and he's
so-
Yeah.
he's like he's got that same like scruffy energy. You
Mhm.
know, like yeah, it fits. I think it'd be perf.
For sure.
That show is gonna be so good.
I
Sick.
cannot wait.
If
I
I
cannot
mean, if
wait.
this is really what we're looking towards, like balls, that's gonna be so cool. Wow, wow, wow.
But that's why I think it's just important that Bad Batch
Land the plane.
lands the plane. But we've got so much other Star Wars coming out that they risk, if they do a season 2, having its importance lost or
I feel
its
you.
purpose lost.
Yeah.
And like serve its role, and you can see we've talked about it. It's setting up all sorts of different things, but you got to make this story matter in the grand scheme of things, and I think it ultimately will. I'm not saying because of one episode where we didn't get all the revelations we wanted that it's ruined, not by any means, but it's got to serve a role because it's going to get overtaken by these other series real quick if it doesn't.
Disney,
Yeah.
can you please pass the rolls?
We've got a lot of Star Wars content coming our way.
Oh my God, there's
So-
so much stuff, and not even that, but like also like learning about all this Marvel content coming out in the fall. Oh balls!
I'm so happy. We're gonna be
Hawkeye, Miss Marvel,
Yeah, Hawkeye, Miss
on
Marvel.
top of the other 4 movies,
Hawkeye.
that are 3 movies.
Woo! Busy. We're gonna be busy.
Busy little bees.
It's good stuff.
It's exciting. Well, yeah, that's the episode plus some more information.
Dun, 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 dun.
And
Lots of commentary.
Yeah, we have more Bad Batch episodes coming your way, as well as the Marvel What If series premiering on August 11th. So that's coming. And
What if you guys?
What if? ... question mark.
What if we did a podcast about what if?
Thanks so much for listening to us gab about the galaxy. That should have been our name. Dang.
I wouldn't be here if it was.
That's Dino's cue to
That's where I
leave.
draw the line.
Yeah, this is Inside the Tauntaun, a podcast in the multiverse of fandom. I'm Alyssa Simmons.
And I'm Daniel Dawson.
And I'm Dino Nick Andrews.
May the force be with you.
Always.
This part is over.
Inside the Tauntaun podcast. Please like and subscribe.